Three guys, many games, heading into conference
We're
tournament
back.
edition.
We're
I'm
back.
Steve
We're back.
Sombrato. I'm here with Rob Smalley, and I'm here with my dear brother Vinny Sombrato.
A.K.A. Mr. Chaminade here. I got the hat on.
Well, you are Mr. Chaminade.
Yeah, I
There's
see
no
that.
self-proclaimed Mr. Chaminade.
We
Let's
won
start off.
today.
Let's start off. Chaminade got a win. I'm not sure of the score today. I wasn't there, but they got a
It was a blowout.
blowout.
I
Okay.
think it was.
So they're
I think it
gearing
was.
up
Well,
for
well,
the-
let me take the. I
15,
think it was 15-4.
15-3.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it was
That's
a lot to a little.
Okay. Well, they're gearing up. We'll be heading to. Where's that game going to be at Hofstra later when they play St. Anthony's, Vin? Again?
Yeah, I don't think they determined it officially, but I think it probably will be. It was really good when it's played there. I mean, the last few years they've played there. I don't see any reason to change.
You got to pay for that.
And they got money. These Catholic
Yeah, they
schools.
make a
You kidding
deal.
me?
They'll make a deal for them. They'll split the cost.
Well, anyway, just so the fans know, I took a copy of Balsamo's thing here. He gave it to me when the games are. For a 6-game schedule, Stephen, listen to what Chaminade's got. It's really interesting. It's a tough schedule. First of all, it's the toughest schedule Chaminade has ever had. So anyway, so we have right now, what was the team we beat today? BC High. They say it's Boston College High, which was today.
Boston
Thursday,
College
Friday.
High.
On Saturday, they play Manhasset. Saturday's a big day. Chaminade plays Manhasset at Manhasset. And then Tuesday, 28th, you got Iona Prep. Iona Prep is very good. Followed by Del Barton on 5-3, 3 days later. 2 days later after that on 5-5, you got Wilton. On 5-9, you got Darien. Then you got the championship against St. Anthony's. This is the toughest schedule they've ever had.
So I got one suggestion before we get off the high school and we'll get to college games. But I do have one suggestion. I think since these teams, certain teams, they're going to more of this national schedule, and we know that every year it's basically in Long Island anyway. It's Chaminade and St. Anthony just playing. That to me seems just weak. You don't get many games of like any excitement about it. It becomes a bomb-storming thing. So here's my idea, Smalley. It's the Smalley League, the National League. Sponsor the league, Smalley. Go recruit the top whatever 10, 12 teams. Make their schedules for them.
Yeah,
Bring them into your fold.
It'd be a good idea.
And you'll go and hand the trophy. What's the difference between that and like the
You're right.
PCS or anything else?
Nothing.
You got the money. You do them. You lay it out there for the schools.
Well, it's not about the money. It's about what's regulated by Section 8. You got public school and Catholic school mixed. You can't do it. They could play out of conference games against each other. They have them, but like you said, Manhasset. You mentioned Manhasset. That's a special game in itself because they play it for the
What I'm
region.
saying, Vin, is what if you take eight to 10 of the perennial teams. You mark those teams and you tell them they got to play the other 9 and vice versa. And at the end of the year, you make them play each other and they have
to what end? To what end? It's not a championship or anything. It's just like it is. It would be what it is now. They won't allow Chaminade or St. Anthony's into Section 8 or into the Suffolk section. They don't allow them in.
It's not Section 8.
Because they're private schools.
I'm not saying Section 8. I'm not saying Section 8. Maybe you're not understanding me. I'm saying
I am understanding. What you're saying is playing out of conference games. You're just talking about playing out of conference games is all you're talking about.
You're doing it anyway.
Yes,
you're playing them anyway.
But they're playing better teams in their minds. Maybe not Garden City. You're talking about there might be 4 pretty much elite teams
maybe you're
on
not
Long Island.
understanding. I'm saying play exactly the schedules they're playing now, but you make the schedules of Malvern Prep, Chaminade, St. Anthony's. You put 10 of those teams, and that's a league, and at the end of playing each other, they're not playing all the other teams. They're playing these non-league games, and you make them play a playoff at the end, and that's your league. You're winning your league then.
You keep saying, you just said it. You just said you make a league. You can't make a
Well,
league between those teams.
making
And they won't do it.
not-
They won't do it. They won't do it, Stephen. Chaminade asked years ago to go into Section 8. They asked. What they wanted to do is they got so many kids, they wanted to have 2 teams. They said, we'll take a team and put it in Section 8, and we'll have another team that just plays the kind of schedule they're playing
I'm not
now.
talking about Section 8. Section 8 for them is like going into the minor leagues. That's a waste of time.
It's not for every team. It's not for every team. I mean, Garden City, the top teams that are going to be there for the.
I'm saying the same teams that they list out inside Lacrosse as the top 10 teams in the country, which are all private schools. That's your pseudo league. You just make that's your league. You're playing all those teams.
No, Stephen. Those other teams they play are in leagues. Those teams playing other leagues. The Maryland team they play, that's in the MAIA, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
the team in Philly.
They play in Smalley's league instead.
Man, it could be right. And let me just say something. It could be considered a tournament, like how like Duke plays.
Tournament is something different. He's not talking about a tournament. He's talking about forming a league. What's the difference between it being a tournament and doing what they're doing right now? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're playing the. Say again?
There's a college game tomorrow over here on the high school campus. Do you know?
I know. How you see?
But they're not really
this is
playing
how he
it's like
sidetracks.
a barnstorming thing.
Yes. Listen,
sidetracked
it is what it is. Those teams, some of the teams that Chaminade play are part of conferences. Chaminade, they have a 2-team conference, them and St. Anthony's. What could I tell you? That's how they look at it. They got 2 teams in that, and that's how it's been for quite a while now.
Then they should go in and they should go into somebody else's conference, because honestly, I don't even feel like it's a real thing, just them playing St. Anthony's every year. I think it's just
that may be
okay.
True, but
So
they have the toughest.
They go into what? They go into what? The CHSAA of Long Island. They play St. Dominic's, Holy Trinity, St. John the Baptist, Kellenberg. Those are going to be games for them? They're not going to be games for them in St. Anthony's. They're going to be blowouts.
Make them go into Jersey. What league is Deerfield?
They're doing it now. They are now. They are going into Jersey.
He's right. They're doing it now, Stephen. Stephen, they have the
He's missing. You're totally missing my point, Vin. My point's going right over.
I know your point. You want to form a league. They can't form leagues like Stephen. They can't form leagues like, especially now you're talking about interstate leagues. You're forming an interstate league. You're not going to do it in high school. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
There's got to be sanctioning. Jersey doesn't even play with a shot clock. Right? They don't even play with a shot clock. They're not playing with a shot clock for 2 more years.
New Jersey.
There's different rules. There's different everything. You can't do it. How it is right now is fine. They're playing it out of,
again,
it is what it is. They play St. Anthony's. It's great competition.
I would disagree with you. I think it's horrible.
Okay.
I actually think it's horrible for lacrosse. I think it's just 2 teams playing each other, and it's barnstorming. If there were at least the teams in the thing where they were playing to position themselves.
Yes, to play. You're just going to go down with the ship with this. You want to have a league formed, then it's not going to happen. It is what it is. If I was playing at Chaminade or if I was playing at St. Anthony's, I would be happy to play against the best teams that are out there. And they are playing the best teams that are out there.
Right now,
Team flew in from California to play them. A team came up from Delaware. They played 2 games in Florida. They play. Look at who they played. They played a lot of great teams in different states.
And it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything is what I'm saying. That's the point. People playing something. Paul Washington.
I'll tell you what means something. Winning the last game is what matters. Okay, what does it mean when you're for Cold Spring Harbor? Cold Spring Harbor is in the D League. They play everything. They play when they
Yeah.
get to the county playoffs. They're
Yeah.
beating teams in the finals by 20
Yes.
goals for the county playoffs. I mean,
Yes.
that makes no
I don't
sense.
agree with that either.
They did
I think
a
they should-
super
I
league.
think they
So they did it. They did a super league this year, right? And they're playing each other. Whether you're A, B, C, or D, they're playing each other. What they perceive as the best teams. But when the playoffs come, those teams are going to go back to the divisions they belong in, based on the population of the school. That's how it works.
I think that's dumb too. I think it's dumb too. I think if you're doing that and you've structured a power league where you're putting teams up and back, whether you're in the power league based on how you do it, just like kind of like the soccer thing, let the big teams play and you won the A. If you're in the next thing, you won the B. The next thing, you won the C. No matter who the teams are, and let some lower team in D win rather than Cold Spring Harbor goes back and plays in D and wins. Big deal. What does that mean? It's better to do it like how soccer does
So what
the
you're
regulation
saying,
where they go down and up.
but then the adjustment is based on population in the school. You're saying forget the size of the school. Look at how they played over the last few years. Do it like a seeding. Do it like a seeding and play like that. I mean, that's a thought, but I'm sure that was thought about before, and they got knocked out.
They're doing high school baseball now. Wantor is a small school. They play a small school to beat them 50-0. They have to move up and play whatever the school, Massapequa in the A division, and they win the title.
We'll have to check with somebody on this, but I'm pretty sure the girls do it like a power league too, but they don't switch back to the divisions. They stay in the thing, and at the end of the year,
That I don't have any. I can't answer that question. I don't have knowledge of how they do that. I don't know.
But that's public school. That's public school. I'm saying they need to do something. I mean, yes, some of the other private schools, maybe in Maryland, they have a lot more competitive league. Jersey's got something, but I don't know what division is what. Where's Deerfield? Who do they play in? Some league? Is their league good? Is their
That's a
league
prep
anything?
school too. That's a prep school.
Okay.
You feel,
So is
that's a
Chaminade.
prep school. So, well, I'm talking about typically they have, older kids in a Deerfield. A kid would graduate high school and then go to Deerfield. That's what Pennell did. He played his 4 years in high school and then he went and played at Deerfield.
So
How
I'm
long,
confused
Vinny?
now. So
How
you're
long
telling
did
me
he play there? Sorry, Stephen. How long did he play at Deerfield?
He played 1 year at Deerfield, 1 year.
Okay.
So the team that's in the top 10 on Inside Lacrosse Deerfield is made up of all kids that are already past 12th grade?
Yeah.
I don't want to say all, but there's probably a bunch, but I don't know that Deerfield at the end of the year or Lawrenceville, I'm not sure they're counted in that top, to be the number one team in the country. I'm not sure if those teams go in that route because yes, that's obvious and obviously a big advantage.
Okay, well, they're in the Inside Lacrosse thing. I don't know if there's some other listing that is, but on Inside Lacrosse, Lawrenceville and Deerfield are in that top 10 of that.
All right, guys, can we move on from this? The fans are getting restless.
Well, I'm learning. The fans are getting restless. I'm sure the fans know more about this than we do.
They do. Listen, we enjoy watching games. I enjoy watching the best competition there can be. And between St. Anthony's and Chaminade, they play great competition. So anytime you go to those games, you're going to see a high level of play.
There was a couple people, I was at the game today, that were favoring Chaminade if they play St. Anthony's at the end. It was very interesting to hear them talk like that. Because for 7 years,
you were at Chaminade.
St. Anthony's has not.
I'm sure if you were at St. Anthony's, you'd hear something else.
Well, I'm just giving what I heard today. It's people, getting a little.
You heard it
hyped up
from
for the game.
2 people.
For 7 years, Chaminade has not beaten them. Yeah. I'll bring my white horse.
He's very testy tonight, Smalls. What did you do to him at that Chaminade game? You got him very upset.
Very testy all day today, Vinny. There's a lot going on.
Man. So
I'm getting
the
double
college
teamed
game,
here
we're
by
heading into
these two.
right? Well,
I'm testy.
We're here
I'm
today.
testy because I'm in last place. I can't pick a game. I can't pick a game. Of course I'm testy.
What are we asking you about all of this stuff for? Is
Hey,
right?
Vinny, be thankful
I don't know
that
anything.
the Lord gave you hair. He bought you a hairbrush last
There
week
you go.
because it wasn't.
Hey,
You ain't got
small.
a brush on your hair. Steven's walking around with scratch fever, and you got a hairdo like fucking God appointed you. I mean, it's disgusting. I'm tired of looking at it. It's
Well,
killing me.
he's
You
gonna lose
look like
his hair
Marco Rumpskin, and you got a hairdo. You look like John Gotti reincarnated.
if
I mean, it's unbelievable.
if he keeps losing games at this rate, that hair's gonna go.
Yeah, it's going to start going. I am 20 games under 500. I'm like the Mets.
Right.
But Steven,
Exactly.
you bring out, I do give you a good point, because when he gets married and has kids, because he's still young, they figure Vinny with a hairdo like that, he'll live to 120, 130. Yeah, he's got another 60, 70 years to go.
Right.
I mean, the guy's going to have kids. He's going to find somebody from Ukraine, and everybody, well, where's she from, Vinny? Nah, I met her in Ukraine. What? I thought the war was still on, Vinny. You know, he says, nah, there's no war. Vinny's over there, he grabs the girl. He's getting married now. He'll have two
Well,
kids. Listen, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a horse. Imagine him having two kids, the offspring. How can he leave this world? How can Vinny leave this world without having two kids? Come on.
Kids, what are you, crazy? Come on.
No, our friend had two kids. Vinny, who's our friend? Come on, it's got two beautiful kids. Keith Hart.
Yeah,
in the
your
liquor
guy.
business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would kill.
He started late.
So
Golden
small.
Hill, man.
So Smalls. Your RPI teams. It always
Steven,
comes
did you
down
really
to the
get me off
RPI.
last week 2 games? I lost 2 games. That's horrible.
Oh, you mean because you didn't? You
And I
didn't?
really lose 2, and he picks up 2. This motherfucker, Steve, Vinny, I want a labor union here.
You know.
Do that to somebody,
You got to get your picks in.
You'd lose.
You pick them after the game?
You'd lose.
you son of a.
You'd
bitch.
lose that
Two
grievance.
experts-
You'd lose that grievance. You were notified a number of times. You don't get the picks in. You're out eating it. Brian and Cooper, Vincent, who knows where he was? Brian and Cooper, Hendricks,
Right,
Vincent.
exactly.
He ate at all 3. One day he ate in all 3 the same day. He went to all 3 places.
What was the day? No, what was the day when we went? Where did we go? And then he had already gone to Brian and Cooper's in the day.
That's true. I went.
Oh, it was at Hofstra. It was at Hofstra. We had Brian and Cooper's lunch, had a big old dessert, and then we're in the box at Hofstra, and he's eating hot dogs. It was an hour later. It just finished.
Hey, I grew up with salt water, sugar water, and salt cakes, man. You guys were rich kids. from
Yeah, get it
Walmart.
while you
You
can,
had
Smalls.
McDonald's and Cupcakes.
Get it while you can.
You guys carried the Newsday. I mean, come on. Oh,
Well, Smalls,
man.
you're getting into the conference week now. Now it's the big weeks of where the automatic qualifiers come. We're already at the end of the season. We're at we're at the end already. This would be my question. How much of an advantage, going into this as they're going to start sorting out all these teams, the fact that the super strong conferences,
Big Ten.
they're still, whether they beat each other up, so they don't really drop that far in the RPI, does it really matter? Should they even have these conference tournaments in reality?
Yes. I think it's interesting. It gets you ready quick. Gives some other teams a chance to survive. You're coming to the end, so you got to really. This is really unbelievable. You got 5 weeks of the best, 6 weeks of the best lacrosse in the world. Really nice now. I enjoy this part of the struggle of teams getting in. It's unbelievable, and I know you guys. You love Tillman, John Tillman. Will someday be on Mount. I'm not going to say the word because I can't pronounce it. What is Mount? What's I call it?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. So I can't say it. Mount Rushmore. I can't.
There
Someday
you
he'll
go.
be up there. But you
You
two
go.
guys, you were very critical of his team this year. I think you are. But I'll give you a chance to talk for yourself. Is Tillman going to make it? Tillman's got to literally win. He's got to win 3 games in a row right now.
I tell you right now, I would never count him out. I would never count him out.
So you're saying that John Tillman is going to win the next 3 games? That's what you're telling me.
I don't know that he'd have to. I think he's solidly.
He has to win the tournament.
Yeah, well, that's 2 games.
No, it's 3.
Yeah, 3. It'll be 3. Yeah.
He has to win 3 games away.
Well, I
Can
think
John Tillman win 3 games in a row and get in the Big Ten?
I definitely think he could do that. I definitely think he could do that. There's no question.
Mr. Hairdo, Mr. Perfect, what do you think? What do you got, Vincenzo?
Well, I do believe he can do it. I do believe he can do it, but I think the bigger question, or more, the real question is, if he doesn't win 3, are they out? If he wins 2, are they out? If he wins 1, are they out?
Anyway. 1, they could be out. 1, out. 2, I think in. 3, definitely in. AQ.
He's in anyway. He's in anyway if 3.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's going to beat Penn State. He's going to beat Johns Hopkins, and what's the other team? He's got to beat at least 2 of those 3 teams. Think about it.
Well, he's playing Rutgers, right? That was how that shit panned out.
First round games.
Then he's got to play Penn State. If he beats Penn State and then he's in the finals, I think that gets him in no matter what. Even if he loses, I think he gets him in.
Does him in?
I mean, it could be
I
close.
think so.
I tell you, I will be sweating. I'd be sweating on Election Sunday, but I think he gets in then.
Does this committee?
Well, going back to previous shows, right? We talked about it, and our opinion was there was probably going to be 4-3-3, 4 from the ACC, 3 from the Ivies, and 3 from the Big Ten.
I don't know that there'll be 3 from Big Ten. It's possible they could only get 2.
Wow, that'd be a real.
And then who else gets in? What other conference?
Maybe the 4th Ivy, because you look at the RPI and you got Hopkins is at 5, right? That's the first Big Ten team. Then the next Big Ten team is Maryland, and it's 11. They're outside the other teams, and you got Ivies. You got Princeton, Harvard, and Cornell all in front of them already.
Let me ask you a question. The Spider has nothing to do with this, right? They're automatically in.
Well, they got to win their tournament. If they don't win their tournament,
I don't see anybody beating them.
Anyway.
Are they in the Townsend tournament? No, right? They're not with Townsend.
No, they're not with Townsend.
They're not going to lose that. They're not going to lose that, Stephen.
But if they would have lost the tournament, that would screw somebody else up big time.
Well, let's work it backwards, and I've looked at these bracketology. I looked at the bracketology and all of that, and here's a question for the 2 of you. Your thoughts? If are there going to be, out of those 8 other conferences, putting the 3 aside, Big Ten, Ivy, and ACC, that leaves you 8 conferences, right? Of those 8 conferences, do you see anyone getting 2 teams in from those conferences?
Not looking at the RPI, no.
No.
So
let's say looking at the
only if Richmond didn't win. If Richmond doesn't win,
right,
Richmond will still be in, and that'll be a 2-team conference.
Yeah.
At that point.
That'll be a bid stealer. That'll be a bid stealer.
Yeah.
What about the Army conference? If Army, they got Army as the favorite to win that conference, but what if Lehigh beats them? Does Army get in, or they're done?
No, they're done. They're done, and then whoever wins that conference goes in. Because Army's 10 in the RPI, and the next team from that conference is BU at 18. So they ain't getting up that high.
Yeah.
So...
No, that's why, you asked the question before about, the end of the year tournaments that they have. You got a regular season champ for seeding. You got the regular season play, and that creates the seeding. and then you got the actual play on the field for who wins the conference, right? And then, of course, if those 8 conferences are only one-team conferences, right, then people are going to say, oh, it's not right, they only get 8. But instead of having these conference tournaments, if they played those out-of-conference games against some of those conferences and they beat them up all the time, then they got no complaint, because you could say, look, head-to-head, when you played these conferences, none of your teams won any games. Now, that may not be true. I'm just saying that's the argument.
I'd like to know why you guys you seem to favor the ACC. Like Steven is just saying now, he thinks that the Big Ten will only get 2 teams. How could you get 4 teams from one division and then go over there and get 2? I don't. Is it could? I mean, that seems a little weird. No. Are you going to get 4 teams in the ACC? That's a guarantee.
Oh, there's no guarantee.
So why are you guys favoring the little? I see you guys are like a little favoring the ACC.
Because
here's the question.
In the RPI, they're ranked 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
And then the next team is Virginia, who's 9. So they got 1, 2, 4, and 9.
All right.
So here's the question.
That's a good point.
So here's the question when you get to that ACC tournament. This is what I kind of opened it with when we started talking about this. So let's just say Virginia wins the first game, and they either maybe win the ACC, they win 2 games, or they win 1 game and they lose in the championship, right? I don't know who they'll be playing, but imagine they play Notre Dame or they play North Carolina and beat them.
Right.
They're going to go from 9, they're going to go up, right?
Yeah.
Notre Dame's not going to go from 1 to 15, and neither is North Carolina. So what they do is they solidify themselves in the RPI. It doesn't really give another team a chance to crack in there, those conference tournaments. By playing within that, they're not going to break up that block. I think 4 ACC teams will get in because it won't count. It won't count against Virginia. How far down, if Virginia loses the ACC tournament game as the last game, how far will they drop? Will they drop further than 9?
I don't see it.
There's only so.
You know, so if they lost to Notre Dame, the 1, they're not going to fall that much. And if they don't fall behind somebody, then it gets to one of those positional things.
We said the RPI, but Virginia also has a strength of schedule of 3. They got their number 3 in strength of schedule.
Wow, really?
North Carolina's 1. Syracuse is 2. They're 1, 2, and 3 in strength of schedule, ACC teams.
And you know what they have that Syracuse doesn't have? A top 5 win.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I just think those 4 teams are going to be in the ACC. The thing why I say 4 about the Ivy is right now, Harvard and Cornell are both ahead.
Okay, so you just made a statement for the fans. Be clear. What are your 4 teams you say are getting in your opinion, Stephen?
It's going to be Notre Dame, North Carolina, Syracuse, and Virginia.
Wow.
And then the Ivies you got Harvard, you got Princeton, Harvard, and Cornell, and then you got Yale itching up they're at 13. They're right behind Maryland and Penn State. So those one of those is it's either going to be the Ivies get 3 and then Big Ten will get 3, or the Ivies possibly could get 4 and then Big Ten would only get 2.
This is really
and gets tight. It all depends on how those numbers shake out. You know, the committee the last few years has gone down that computer list pretty thorough. Wherever that
but I gotta say, what really could throw a wrench in the works in the Big Ten is some upsets from
Michigan.
Michigan, pulling an upset could really throw a wrench in the work.
Like upset to win the Big Ten, you mean?
Not to win it, but knock somebody off in the first round. One of those other teams. they knock one of them off. Let's say Michigan and Rutgers get a win in the first round of the tournament and knock two of those teams out. That could knock those teams off.
That could be the four Ivies then. That would make the four Ivy situation. Or it would help Penn State a lot.
Right.
I know Smalley's conflicted. He has so many friends, he doesn't know who to root for. He doesn't know what to do.
I root for where I make the most money. And right now it's Penn State. So
There you go.
if I swarm in the university, if they get me into football, I got a chance to make over $2 million in football if I get in there.
All right, take it easy. Don't take it easy.
Take it easy.
You're going to get everybody knocking on your door for donations. Take it easy.
Easy, Benny. Easy. I'll give you another brush, Benny. You got 3 now. Go easy, Benny.
Take it easy.
All right,
Oh, I
so
got all
listen,
kinds of
so
brushes.
I gotta pin Vinny down. Vinny's had a hard year. Steven, you really been honest guy, and you're really gloating in Vinny's losses. I have to admit that. You're really enjoying Vinny's losses. Like
I'm just saying, thank God we're actually not betting on a game. I'd have to be I'd be unplugging his phone from the bookmaker.
Oh, I'd be losing my shirt.
We'd have to
That's why I
unplug all
don't
the
gamble.
phones. My God.
That's why I don't gamble.
20 games under.
But he never was like this. So there's like a dude. It's almost like God is saying,
No, because
wake up. He's like last minute Charlie. Everything he does in life. So God is saying, Vinny, come on. I gave you everything in life. I made you a 4-time world player. Can you give me something back?
You want to know what? You want to know what? I'll tell you my problem. I like underdogs most of the time because especially when it's like a 6-goal game or a 5-goal, spot on the game. And I say, come on, they got to be able to keep it within 6. You're going to get killed again. And yet they get killed again. So I can't bet with my heart. I got to bet with my head more.
Just so the fans know, let me reiterate it. What we do every week, we come on here. Steven's got his hairdo, I got my hairdo, and we pick the games. Not easy, guys. You know how it is. It's always 1.5 to pick a game with the point spread. That's all we do here. And we try to figure it out, and it ain't easy. And I'm on with the 2 experts. The most guys with the most games ever played. I don't know if there's 2 brothers that played more games of lacrosse than these 2. And I don't want to say clowns, but you are clowns at times. Because I know that your fans don't like the word clowns. But you guys have played more games in lacrosse. He's known as the Iron Man. And you're known as the Iron Man Jr. You're still playing. You told me you're down to 200 pounds and you're going to go back. You're going to go back to meet Tillman in the summer and try to win another series.
We'll win one. We're going to win.
What are you weighing now? Tell the fans here you want to keep it
I'm down like 17 pounds.
Are you trying to get under 200 for the
I
tournament?
mean, it would be nice. Feel a little better. Yeah.
Steven, you're
sure.
50-something years old. I mean, Vinny's in
Smalls,
his
I
late-
told you the reverse. I said, I told you you could do it easy. It's going to be much easier for you. The dedication the dedication you put in to eat, to keep that girth that you have.
He's so hurt.
That takes real dedication.
He's making fun of fat people. That's terrible, Steven. He really got me too. He went after both of us, Vinny. Vinny, can you believe this?
I mean, if you didn't go, if you went 1 week without eating that pint of Haagen-Dazs at night that you eat, you might lose 15 pounds.
What's wrong with ice cream?
I'm not laughing. Smalls, I'm not laughing. I'm getting closer to your weight than I am to Steven's weight now that he's losing.
God.
Listen, all I know is you guys have a little.
Well, I'll give you 2 weight stories just from when I go out and play in Massapequa. That keep it in mind. I saw Vinny's old teammate, legendary long stick midi, Eddie Wallace, referee, was reffing our game, and I grabbed the goal with him. And I said, Eddie, you look light. He had lost 40 pounds. He said.
How?
He just, he was not, dieting, and he took it off. And he said he felt better. He had felt like crap. And then, do you remember Bolcha? Danny Bolcha, who had the heart attack, who also refs the games. He said he's like 10% body fat. He looked thin as a rail. He's in the best shape. He's trying to gain weight, actually.
Yeah. He's always been thin. He stayed always in good shape.
So he looked great, you know. So there's hope, Smalls. There's hope for you.
Well,
You
I
can
got
do
to,
it.
I'm looking for this lacrosse, man. I'm really looking for this season. I'm looking for somebody to just
Let me ask you
take the
this,
game
Smalls.
over.
What would be, you know, we all know that when we get, you know, we have this last week of the season, then the conference tournaments, they'll pick the thing, they'll be the first round of the playoffs, and then we'll be in the quarterfinals. And the quarterfinals are at Hofstra. Who are your 4 teams that you want to see at Hofstra?
Oh, I can give it right away. Syracuse, Cornell, North Carolina. Syracuse, North Carolina, Cornell. And I'm going to go in with the Irish boys, Notre Dame. That would be my ultimate.
Wow, what a foursome that would be.
I'd have to throw America.
That sounds more like a Final Four. That sounds more like a Final Four than a quarterfinal.
I want to make a note before I forget because I'm getting a little tired, guys. I am going to say something that's going to be so profound in the world of Division I lacrosse. I
Wait,
don't know if you
let
guys
me get my
realize, but I
pen.
got to say it.
Let me get my pen out. I got to write this down. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say. I didn't know.
I'm ready, Smalls.
Wait, I got to get my phone.
It was so profound that he forgot it already. It was so profound, but he forgot it.
Oh my God.
Hold on. The Richmond coach, and I'll say it and I'll say it again, and I'll get all these guys. The Richmond coach right now is the great in the last 3 years for how he rose up. I'm talking about a guy was here and when he came up the ladder all the way up. I've never seen anybody do what he did. He might be the greatest teacher in the sport, and we've never had him on this podcast. Crudy. What is his name and how do you spell it? Crotty. How do you spell it? What's his name? How do you spell his name? What's the coach's name?
Chamati? You're talking
It's
about Dan
Chamati.
Chamati?
Chamati. Talking about Chamati.
Chamati.
I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to. I'll write it down. How do you spell it?
CHEMOTTI.
That sells chemistry.
Yes, exactly. You're close. You're on track.
CHE?
Yes.
What else?
MOTTI.
Kamani.
I.
Wow, Kamani. Now, I don't know if the fans know what he's done last year. He has more wins than anybody in the last 2 years. And also the guy, I didn't know he also played for Duke. And what I understand, he was on 2 national championship teams. So I want to give a shout out to the coach. He's the best fundamental coach in the game right now. And he has risen that team. And that's an amazing thing that he has done. I really mean that. You know, I never met the guy, don't know much about him, and I couldn't name one guy on the team. And it's the craziest thing. And the guy's won more games in the last 2 years than anybody in the game.
Well, what shows you the growth of lacrosse and what Chamati was able to do is, and it's not much different than what Corrigan did with Notre Dame. You know, when you're taking a powerhouse, like Notre Dame was a powerhouse type school, and they were not great at first, Notre Dame, but he built it over time. Obviously, it's a tremendous institution, and now they're a powerhouse, obviously. Chamati did it with a great school. Richmond is a great school. It's a nice area. It's in the South there. And he's built them to legitimacy. There's no reason why they're not going to be, they're always going to be a top team. The question I would ask you, Vin, he's got it rolling, is would there be a situation where they could move Richmond out and put them in a better division?
Better conference? I don't know.
Yeah. Could they put them in the AC?
They would be a nice fit there, but you know, I don't know the logistics and how those conferences work and how it affects other sports. There's a lot of different things that go into that. Listen, there have been teams, you know, Notre Dame was in the Big East. Then they ended up in the ACC. They've bounced around. Some schools were independents, then they latched into a conference. I mean, you know, so could they do it? I mean, I don't know. The school would have to make that kind of a decision. But
and I will say one thing also. Excuse me, Vinny, for interrupting. I will say one more other very, very important thing. after this year, I believe there'll be two teams. I'm not going to name who they are on the air here. There are going to be two top teams that are going to be looking for coaches changes. And I'm going to say Kamadi is very dedicated to his team, but if you throw enough money at him, the guy's got to move. You understand? So, you got to make it lucrative for the guy. And I believe Kamadi will be moving into a position at the end of this year. That is my prediction. If the money is right. That's my thing. I'm not going to name the two teams. I'll let that play out. You guys can figure it out. I'm not going to...
He would certainly be a sought-after guy. There's no
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
There is a carousel that goes around. I would almost like to see their team move into they're playing all these top teams anyway. I mean, it's not like he's ducking anybody. He's playing all the top teams. Maybe he's secure in that conference where, he knows he's solidly in the tournament.
What has he got? 2 losses in 2 years? He didn't lose. I think he went undefeated.
They're 11-1 right now. They lost a couple games last year. They lost, obviously, to Cornell in the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
and I think they did lose one. And I don't think they were undefeated coming into that game last year.
At least one other, right?
They lost.
I thought they went into the playoffs. They were undefeated.
But their strength of schedule right now is 24.
Right.
All right.
So let me ask you this, Vin. Of a team like that, like a team that's looking to break through, right? A team that's looking to break through, would you say Richmond has a better chance or Harvard has a better chance?
I think Richmond already broke through. I think both of them broke through last year. They both lost. They went one round further, Richmond, and gave the eventual national champs all they could handle at the game we were at Hofstra. I just think personnel-wise, they were a little thin. It was a very hot day. I think Cornell threw numbers at them. They were a little deeper, their bench. And I think that's what ultimately won the game for Cornell that day. I think Richmond got a little tired in the fourth quarter. They were playing as hard as they could, but with the weather what it was and the type of game it was up and down, it wore them out and they lost a 1-goal game, so to the eventual champs. And who was the other team you said? You said Harvard. Harvard, They lost a really tough game in the Dome to a very good Syracuse team where they had a 4-goal lead in the fourth quarter, I think it was. A bad penalty here or there really cost them. Syracuse caught fire and nipped them at the end. And it showed it was no fluke because Harvard came back this year, played them in a regular season game in the Dome, and beat them. Or maybe it wasn't in the Dome. I don't think it was in the Dome. I'm not sure where they played that game. But Harvard beat Syracuse in the regular season, right?
It was freezing. It was at
Yeah, early. Yeah. It was at Harvard. It was very cold. Yeah. So, those teams I think have arrived. Do they have enough to get to the Final Four? Do they have the depth? Can they do it? It's funny, but the depth comes into play now because of the years with the shot clock. Some of these teams, if there was no shot clock and they possess more and kind of hold the ball and then play to win at the end when they still had some juice in their legs, you might see different outcomes. But with a shot clock where you have to play, it's tough for a team that's a little less in numbers. Not that their first 10 aren't as good as any other first 10. But, it takes a team to win something like this, and you need to have some depth.
I got something for Smalley now. So, Smalls, this week we saw Joey Spallina break the all-time leading scorer for Syracuse Lacrosse, which is saying a lot when you think about
You got to give him a hand for that one, Smalls. Come on. Give him a hand for that one.
Let's give Spallina a... Now, here's my question, because I don't like guys taking shots at him because he's had a tremendous career. They want to taint on him the fact that, does he have to win it to solidify anything else? To me, I think he solidified it for himself. To me, the title would only That would just put him into a whole other echelon if they could win it, Syracuse. What do you think?
What do I think totally about
Yeah.
him? He's done more with less. I mean, what that guy has done and the dedication, I said it a long time ago and I'll say it again. I'll say it again. I don't know any player from way back when and now that has been more dedicated to lacrosse, living it day in, day out than Joey Spallina. The kid has left nothing on the table. And I mean nothing on the table. He's almost, I don't want to get crazy with the comparison, he's almost like a LeBron James. No matter what he does, he breaks the record. Oh, he's not like Gait. He's not like Powell. He's not like the guy broke the record. Let him have the glory for what he did. And he's done more with less. I mean, he really is a freak of nature. And he loves the game. I've never seen anybody love the game like that kid. He's done everything he can to his power.
See, I think differently. I think differently about him than you. See, I don't think he's a freak of nature. See, I think the thing that makes him appealing to me and maybe to some people is he is ordinary. When you look at him, he's not one of these chiseled 6'3", 220-pound guys, you know. He doesn't have that look to him, but yet his IQ and his skills are so effective. He's an absolutely tremendous player. So I think, to me, that's appealing. That shows me he's got a level of understanding of the game that's so much higher than a lot of different guys out there that may be getting by on certain athletic ability. What do you think?
A good point, because in other words, you say he has to excel so much more to be great to figure it out, because maybe you're saying he's not Superman and he has IQ is so high, he's figuring this stuff out in the game. That's a good point.
Well, I mean, that's reality. I mean, he's not 6'3", is he?
He's not as big as LeBron James.
You know, he doesn't look like I see Pinnell as a smaller guy, but he's built like a brick shithouse. He doesn't appear to me as like a muscle bound kid, Joey.
But he plays so big in his heart.
I'm saying he does. I'm saying that's what's appealing.
His heart is bigger than his body. He's backing into guys like he's 6'5". The kid's crazy. He's great.
What do you think, Vin?
I'll give you my opinions, okay?
Go ahead, Vinny. The historian. Here he is. Go ahead.
Here's my pen. Write it down, Smalls. Here's my pen. Write it down. I would say, you know,
Here it is. Go ahead, Vinny.
sitting there's some things that I agree with both of you, and there's something I disagree with Smalley. When he says he's done more with less, I wouldn't say he's doing more with less, because I think that lessens the guys who play around him. I think he's had a lot of excellent players around him. I think Gary has crafted, and the coaches have crafted, a very good team that fits in the style that not only the coaches want to play, but makes Spallina thrive. And he came with a lot of expectations, but there have been other guys who came with expectations and didn't reach them. Joey had a lot of pressure on him, and I give him a lot of credit for not, you know, falling apart under that pressure, whether or not he had a good game or a bad game. You know, when things go good, that's all well and good. It's expected. When he didn't have a great game, there's a few times in his career he got shut out. Everybody went nuts. He's not as good as they say. It happens. If a team is game planning for you, a certain guy has your number, you have an off day shooting, but he persevered through that, you know. He did. So he's got to be given a lot of credit. To say about him as a lax rat, I sat with him at a game one time at Hofstra in the suite. I think he was just coming out of high school. It might have been a quarterfinals when you had the suite, yeah. And I was sitting next to him, and I was like picking his brain. I was picking his brain as we were watching, and definitely he saw the game differently than most kids that age, differently than most guys in college. He definitely had an advanced level of understanding of how to play the game. And I do think he does get a little underestimated about his physicality also. Yes, he's not overly impressive with size. He's not overly impressive with speed. His stick skills are as good as anybody, so that's an edge he has. But I think playing a lot I think playing a lot of box has taught him how to engage guys with his shoulder, how to knock defenders off him. All little things that can still make him successful, even when he's not going to beat a guy with speed. So, to his credit, and what you said before, Smalls, about how much he loves to play, right, is that's, I think, number one in his book. He's a lacrosse rat. It's in his blood. He loves doing it. He loves playing the game. That's a kid, if you called him tomorrow and said, we're playing on some glass field somewhere in the Bronx, he'll show up and play because he just likes to play. So I think that has he raised the next, thing you talk about with guys, has he raised the level for the other players on his team? Has he raised their level? I think he's accomplished that too. So that's another feather in his cap, I'd have to say. I think he's made the other guys around him better. I think he made the other guys around him more confident. And so that's a big plus, And so whatever his shortcomings may be, which there aren't many in terms of shortcomings, whatever people may criticize him about, he addresses it. That's the other plus I give him, because he doesn't just, mope and he runs away from it. He still tries to get better at that next thing that he might not be as good as he is with the other things. So I think, he got drafted high into the PLL. I don't think he's even thinking, that was a nice day for him. His family, his father wishes he could have got him for his team. Didn't work out that way. But he gets to play with one of his childhood idols in Pinnell with the Whip Snakes, I think. So that's a plus. And, I think he's about where people may have thought he would be, and yet he's achieved, and yet in some respects, as far as championships and stuff, which you can't blame on one guy, will his career be complete without a national championship? At least his college career, I mean. Will it be complete without a national championship? That's up for debate, right? Will it? He's been, he's also running the gamut in terms of awards. He was an honorable mention. He was a third-team All-American. He was a second-team All-American. And most likely he'll be a first-team All-American this year. So he will have made them all. But, coming out of high school, and then you look at a lot of other guys who had careers, Schellenberger was 4 years first-team All-American, So are you going to measure him against that, or you're measuring him against whatever, somebody else? I just think that, to me, I would say if I was his family, his friends and all, and me, I am proud of how he's handled himself through the 4 years. I wish him luck. I think they have as good a chance as any other team to win, the whole thing this year. I think they have the pieces, but it's to be seen. They had some games where they didn't play so great and they got beat. Away from the Dome, they have a little bit of trouble, So when they have to travel with these games, will it translate? That's to be seen. And that's my take.
And
Hey, Steven, can I jump in 1
go
second?
ahead.
I wanted to throw something in. I'm sorry, Steve. Hey, I wanted to give also a shout out to Vinny. It's a great point with him. Also, you brought out a good point with giving Gary Gait credit for putting him in a situation where he could excel. Also, teaming up with a guy named Mike Leo, who we call AKA Fish, because his father owns a fish market. Him and Mike Leo teaming up. They were roommates when they came in there. They were 6-15. When Gary took this team over, they were 6-15. Gary Gait, in his credit, stayed with them. They were roommates together. They came up the next year. They grew each step. Everything was a stepping stone to where they are now. If they win it this year, they go out in glory tunes, whatever. So I give Gary a lot of credit for that gradual growth. Because don't forget, they weren't 12-0, 15-0. They were 6-12 when they came up, and they had to build it up slowly. So I don't know if Gary gets the credit that people look, but that is a great thing of sticking with the kids year after year, not bringing other kids in, letting them jump the line. So I just want to give credit like that. God, Steven.
I mean, listen, that he's definitely has a very, very proud legacy. His family should be very proud, regardless of what happens. Championships are not so easy. You know that we've seen it. It's not so easy to win championships now. There are so many good teams. You know you have to play so many tough games. But you know the point, and Gary definitely deserves a lot of this credit too. But it is the Spalinas and the Leos and some of the others that Spalina came in as that leader as a freshman, the whole thing wearing the 22, and they got better every year. Every year they got stronger and stronger and stronger. Now the question is can they finish it off? And I think if they do, it's like a fairy tale ending for college for them. If they don't, there's nothing to hang your head about because they're continuing to get better and there's nothing looking like it's going to slow them down. But I'm sure I'm sure he really wants to get that title and win that thing this year. You know, so and they could do it. And they could do it. There's no question about it. They can do it. But I did bring it up because there were people talking about it like, you know, trying to make it like if they don't win it, then was
Absolutely not.
You know, and it's not. I think
no way.
If you think about where Syracuse was the year before Spalina got there and where they are right now,
they were 6-12.
A night and a day, you know. So it is a back to relevance moment that he brought them to, along with other guys, along with Gary too. But you know, that's something to be proud of.
They only got 3 losses.
Well, I think what happens is, you know, they had a very good class. His class, you know, with Mike Leo and himself and some others was a good class. But that tends to, you know, when people see a team getting a little better, and plus you got a legend like Gary coaching, it makes it a little easier to recruit. And he was able to fill in with some key pieces of like this face-off guy that he has now, or like you know, some of the guys that came in, English, and some of those guys that were 50-year guys for him. They want to go play there because they saw the potential to be a winner, you know, and that was important for them, I think. And I think he added value for that too, because kids who were thinking about going to different schools for whatever reasons, not only, I mean, I don't think teams, you know, players are ring chasing as much as they are wanting to get a master's degree or have an ability to get a job after. That's got to be their number one priority. Chasing a ring is a whole nother story, you know.
I got no hot water.
All right, he's making an announcement.
He's got a house disaster.
That's all right.
I got no hot water.
You only take a shower and shave 4 times every other 4 days or something. So what's the difference?
There was times we didn't have hot water. You know what I'm saying? They worry.
You know what's so funny that you say about the hot water, because I do want to say this because our beloved friend Tillman, you know, we love him to death, and he's getting into his stretch where he starts to surprise teams. But I remember I was at Oceanside and we were shooting and there were kids and Pat's team was practicing. And it was during like when it was like either the first quarterfinals, maybe. It was either the quarterfinals or maybe it was the first round of the playoffs. They beat somebody, and all of a sudden, I mean, they must have been on. He couldn't have been much after the game. Not even a half hour after the game. He's calling me because he thought we were at the game, Tillman. Mm-hmm. And then I was talking to him, and he was telling me, oh, what a night. We forget that these people have lives. The night before the game, he had like a massive pipe break in his house and a whole thing.
Yes, I remember that.
You know, you think the guy is like getting ready for the big game. He's holding the bucket for the plumber. Yeah. He's got the game in 12 hours. You know, so life tends to interrupt all of these things. You have to be ready at any moment for a disaster.
He was helping the plumber and he was holding the iPad. He was holding the iPad as he helped the plumber.
Tillman and the iPad, I love it. I'll live 10 years longer. He never dropped the iPad in 37 games so far. For 3 years straight. Yes,
Well, I hope he can go really far because it's always much more fun when Maryland is deep in the tournament, and Syracuse too. When Maryland and Syracuse are alive, it just seems to be better. There seems to be better crowds, and Notre Dame.
They're the story programs, and let's face it. Syracuse. Everyone loves to hate them. Like even people that go there, they don't want them to do better. It's just that's the way it is, and it's okay. It's okay to trash talk. What's the difference? They won so many times. I mean, come on.
If you could have
I'm
Notre
waiting,
Dame,
Stephen. I'm waiting for the time when it's going to get to the point, technology, where he's going to be just in the air with his fingers going screen to screen in front of him from the sidelines, like one of those sci-fi movies.
Right.
That's going to be tells we switching the screens from one to another.
I think the ultimate Final Four for fans would be Maryland, Syracuse, Notre Dame, and I just had the fourth one in my head. I would say either North Carolina or Cornell. I would say those four will come with fans. They might break a record if those four of those 5 teams.
You know that. Just I wanted to bring out something. You know that Timmy Goldstein has a son. So just so the fans know, he has a son, and his name is Mousy. His nickname is the Mouse, and he's a young kid. He's in high school right now. He's a senior in high school, and he was supposed to go to a preschool, what you guys call prep.
Preschool.
Preschool. Prep, I guess. So he's supposed to go to a preppy school, but he's not going to go. He's going to come right into Cornell next year on the team. He'll be the lightest. His brother's 147 pounds. He's 143 pounds. Soaking wet. So he's smaller than the brother, and the other brother's the smallest in all of the game. All of the game. And he gets killed in practice. But
My guess is that plan might have changed, and he's going in next year because he at least gets a year to play with his brother.
he does get a year, and there's a guy in there. There's a guy he's going to be playing with, Vino. You know Vino's son? I forget.
Vino's son's going there. Yep. Vino's son is going.
This guy Vino, we met him a couple times. You guys know him good. He came into the box one time, whatever. I kept saying Vino. I thought the guy was a Guinea. Excuse me, Guinea. I don't know. He's Italian, right? But I find out he's got a Jewish last name. Is he Italian or Jewish?
We adopted him.
I can't figure. So no, they gotta. Let me tell you something. If they get that kid back, they got one kid, a 5-star player. He's supposed to be back this week.
I think he might have played last week. The kid.
Really?
Yeah, I think he might have played. I know who you're talking about. Nicola, something like
Yale
that.
at the door right there.
Yale's
You
at
got
the
Jerry
door.
Burns from Harvard, a guy who's right there trying to break through. These guys are, oh my God.
You got Penn State up and down. Ferrone's going crazy. He's going to
Oh,
be
he lost
going
3
up
games
the
by
up.
1 goal. What's the coach? I love the coach there.
Tambroni.
Tambroni.
Oh, I love Tambroni. He gives the best speeches. Best looking guy in coaching. He's got movie star
And
looking guy.
don't count out. He's had some down moments this year, but don't count out your man Warren A. Coach Warren, Kevin Warren at Georgetown. Georgetown's playing good right now. Georgetown's hot.
I spoke to Corello today. He said they're feeling confident. He said,
Yeah, I bet they are. They came on.
Your man Warren A's been on them, and now he's in the honeymoon phase. He's going to start building them up, and they're ready to go.
Hey, there's a great story in the paper today. Somebody sent it to me about Joe. How do you say it? Corolla. He was the MVP. Did you hear about that? Did you guys hear about that?
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah,
What?
in the newspaper today.
Yeah, the article came to. Can I read it, guys? It's a very short article about Joe Corolla.
I think I sent it to you.
Jesus, did you? Let me see here. Said it single or double? I got so many.
I don't know. I thought I sent you something
All right,
today.
what is it? Get to the point. What?
Well, he was MVP. I give him a shout out. That's it. All right.
He was in the newspaper today of being the MVP or what?
I don't know. He was the MVP of They played against Gary Gait. Let me say, it's a very nice article. If you give me a second, Jesus, very interesting.
It's an old article, Vin, from when he didn't get his
Yes.
trophy.
Yes.
Okay, that's what he said. I know the story. We know the story. That's a legendary
It's a
story.
nice story. Like Gary
They
and
gave
Paul
Sal.
Marichek.
They gave Sal a 6-foot trophy for being the MVP in '96, and Joe got the MVP in '97, and he was looking around for his trophy, and they didn't give him anything. What the heck? Sal got a 6-foot trophy. I got nothing.
He's talking about this article that was,
Where is
you
it,
know,
Benny?
backwards there. Long Island
Okay,
Hofstra Club Blacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got to post it up.
Blacks
Did you
champs,
send it to me
1997.
single
We'll put it in a story.
or- Did you send it to me single or double?
No, I think I sent it to you and Tim at the same time.
You did, you son of a bee. Okay, let me see. Yeah, you're right.
We'll put it up in the story. We'll put it up in a
Let
story.
me read
for
you
the
a little
fans.
article. It's a very
Go ahead.
small article.
Go ahead.
National Lacrosse Champs. The Long Island Hospital Lacrosse Club apparently was not intimidated by the presidents of brothers Paul and Gary Gait and Tom Marichek, three of the top players in the country. The Long Islanders won the national championship Sunday by beating the loaded team of Toyota of Baltimore 13-7 at Cabrini College in Radnor, Pennsylvania. Gary Gait and Tom Marichek scored 1 goal apiece. Paul Gait didn't score. We shut the gates. Long Island coach Bill Barosa said Matt Panetta scored 4 goals for the winners. Vinny Sombrato and Darren Lowe had 3 goals each, and Kevin Lowe added 2. Wow, you beat them.
That wasn't the Joe Corello.
That's
I
96.
started this with Joe
That's
Corello
96.
and then read another
You
year.
got the.
I'm sorry.
I sent you.
I'm
Didn't I
sorry.
send you?
I read the, there's another one here.
I
Okay,
sent
I'm
you
sorry.
2 articles, didn't
There's
I?
another one. The Long Island Lacrosse Club in 1997 won the U.S. Associated Championship June 15th. They beat Team Maryland in Syracuse by beating Chesapeake Toyota LC of Maryland 16-15. It was Long Island's second consecutive title and its third in 4 years. Steve Sombrato scored 3 goals, and Long Island teammate Joe Corolla, I'm sorry, Joe, was named the MVP of the tournament. Featured brothers Paul and Gary Gait, Tom Marichek, and Mark Millen. Wow. 13 of the players on Long Island Hofstra team are members of the Saints of the Major Indoor League. They are brothers Steve and Vinny. Wow. All right. Shout out to Joe. I just wanted to give him a...
Yeah, that was great. That was a legendary game. He dominated when we needed, because we were losing early in that game. We were losing by a lot.
Yeah, we.
And he won a lot of faceoffs, and we came back.
That might be the only game Gary ever lost in his life.
Oh, we beat him 3 years in
Well,
a row.
you just
What are
read they
talking
lost the game before.
96, 97, and then we won the next year too.
Yeah, I might have to call Gary on this. Did something fishy. Gary's never lost 2 games in a row. I'm saying this is fishy. I love Long Island.
I got to tell you, Steven, that shows you his retention and reading. He just read both articles with both names in the thing, and he forgot already.
Right.
I don't believe every article.
Squirrel.
Here they go. Here they go. All right, let's move on, fellas. What do we got here?
Move
Get
on.
your shout out. Let's get your shout outs.
Moving on.
You got a shout out, Smalls.
My shout out. I got to start off with the greatest. My 93-year-old mother, who's still yelling at me, who bought me my first lacrosse stick, who yells at me every day, be good to people that don't have what you have. That's my father. And then my father, Mr. Chaminade guy, graduated in 1949, always telling me the right thing to do. Do the right thing, son. I didn't always do the right thing, but you know what? I mean, I look back in my life and all the success I ever had, friendships and everything. My parents were the greatest people in my life. They didn't have much growing up in Levittown. We had 5 kids. A lot of times it was like 15. we had everybody over eating and stuff like that, and it's just a great story, how they persevered to make all the kids listen. Like my cousin once said, you have all these kids, one out of five's got to go bad. I guess that was me, but I didn't do too bad. I'm on with you two clowns. But yeah, my parents are the greatest, so I gotta give them a full shout out.
All right.
And that's it.
That's nice.
I'm gonna give my shout out since there's a big game tomorrow night. Carolina Duke. Mine will go out to Heine Ho.
He's down there.
He's down there. I'm sure there's a lot of Carolina guys down there, and I hope Heine Ho, Chris Hine, the great Chris Hine.
Wait a second, he's going down for what? What game is this?
Duke.
It's not only the game. There's a reunion. There's a reunion there too.
Jesus Christ, I'm not
So
down
all of our Carolina friends.
Is Jamie Allen and Dougie Hall down there?
I don't think Dougie went. I'm not sure about Jamie.
Jamie didn't call us? Jamie, come on.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Carolina blue. It'll be a great reunion they have. I know you guys have gone in the past. You said it was tremendous what they do down there.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely not a party. It's definitely not a party.
That's a fact. That's a fact. When Ho is there, it's game on. No question.
He lights the fuse.
Chris Hine we're talking about. Chris Hine.
Chris Hine.
All right,
Yes,
Vin,
sir.
what do you got?
My shout out is to all the players, Division 1, 2, and 3, to the players who have exhausted their eligibility this year and their careers as college athletes are coming to an end. And I know how much that's going to hit them. Maybe it's not hitting them just right now, but you think about how much these kids today put time in to get to a high level, whatever division you are. If you're playing in college, you put a lot of time in and you love the game. And for the most part, this is going to be it for them to be part of teams like this, where you're trying to chase championships. And some of them will go on, maybe will play PLL and have a little bit more of a career, but the majority of them won't. And I think I want to give them a shout out for having fun careers and playing the sport, and hope that they appreciated the game enough to give back to the game, to the up and comers, so that the game can grow, because the best people are the guys who came up through it that way and can share their experiences and their knowledge, because it goes a long way with these young guys. I think as they get older, they're going to remember these as some of the best days of their life, hopefully. And I know it's got to be, if you're in school right now and you're looking at your schedule and saying, I got 1, 2, maybe 3 more games left. So make the best of it and make good memories with your boys.
All right. Well, for the fans, we got.
Hey, Steven, I got one last thing I want, just very quickly. I'm sorry, I wanted to get it in before, and I'll just wrap it off quick and go 1 second. This just came across the wire here for the fans. The 2026 men's nominee for the Tewaaraton goes as, I believe...
Marathon. It's like Toyota-thon. Well, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You guys. May I have the floor here, gentlemen?
Go ahead.
So, all right, so Owen Duffy, number 1. Joey Spallina, 2. Brady Wambach, 3. Matt Collision, 4. Nate
Matt Collision. He just called him Matt Collision. Call us.
This is worth it.
I'm sorry, I got it right.
Keep going. Keep
Matt
going.
Collision.
Keep going.
That's great.
Nate from Princeton. Nate Kabiri.
Kabiri.
Dominic Petramali from North Carolina. Silas Richmond from Albany. William Firth from Cornell. Sean Byrne from Army. And Khalid Fayak of Ohio State. Did I say that right? And just a
That's
very
the
quick
goalie,
for the
yeah.
women's. For women's, you got Chloe Humphrey, 1. Madison Taylor from Northwestern, 2. Ava Angelo, 3 from Johns Hopkins. Lacey Downey from Hopkins. Corey Edmondson from Maryland. And MAE Murphy from Loyola. So that's what you got right now going into last.
Where are you reading from, Smalls? Whose list is that? Is that Inside Lacrosse?
I got to be on. I think I did really good tonight for your dear friend over at Hofstra there.
I might be rooting. I love all the guys on the list, but I might have a new favorite. I'm rooting for Collision. I'm rooting for Collision to win the Toyota. Collision will win the Toyota-thon.
Collision wins the.
You love to get off on people's shortcomings. All right. He ain't laughing at somebody's shortcomings. All right. Ben, I don't know the answer to that. It's the 20. I don't know who's putting it out, but it will be narrowed to 5.
Yeah, it might be an Inside Lacrosse thing.
What they do is as gradually go into the 7 games they narrow it down 1, 2, 3. So it will narrow down 2 more here. It will narrow down.
I didn't hear you. You mentioned. I heard you say Fayak, who's a goalie. I didn't really hear any defensemen in that list. I'm surprised they wouldn't have a.
Hold on.
Is Sean Light? Did you say Sean Light from Notre Dame?
Could have been a second page on there. I don't know how many. I think they're down to like 20.
Sean Byrne is a goalie. Oh, excuse me. Sean Byrne.
What's his name?
Is a goalie. Sean
Byrne.
Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. They added 3. Hold on.
Right, Smalls.
That's it, guys. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, let's make sure that the fans get out there, make your picks. We'll get this up there. You guys are in the lead. The fans are in the lead by a few games over me. Then Smalley's a few games behind me.
I'll tell you, that's not right. I got cheated by 2 games.
And Vinny, forget it.
I have to go 20 for 20 to even break even now.
I don't understand. Wait a second. What happened to Vinny last week? Something you didn't tell it. You didn't win anything last week?
He won a couple games, but he's just
I won a few games, but every week I'm losing ground, 2-3 games. I'm not gaining anything.
Every week.
Oh, so you didn't
every week.
Hey, listen, you get everything right, you're right in the front.
That's what happens.
And I'm not saying
law of averages.
I'm not saying gaining on you or Steven. I'm not gaining on my own record. I'm just saying I just would like to pick up a few games.
All right.
So I would say whoever follows it, if you really are gamblers, just go the opposite way of me and you'll be making money.
Exactly. The kiss of death.
Well, we had a good day today. I think Jim Metzger will be proud of me today. I was pretty much on fire. What do you think, Vinny? Metzger?
Yeah, no. Jim Metzger, my good friend and lacrosse aficionado. He keeps tabs on us, and especially on Small League. Yeah. He said he's growing on him. Kind of like Moss, but
he would have proved today. He's a great ambassador, though. God bless him.
All right,
wait till he hears about Collision. All right, thanks, Steven. Another good day.